Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Manager. We're on to something a little different today after finishing our Premier League season last time. We're into the potentially last three football matches of the season, all for Canada as we head to the World Cup, where we are woefully outgunned, but I might be able to make it around because I think we're better than Iran. Anyway, today we start off with a friendly against Poland, which is likely not going to go terribly well for us. And then we have the match against Iran that I definitely think is potentially winnable, but not likely winnable, especially with the knowledge that Eustáquio is injured and unable to attend the tournament. So losing that is going to hurt. Losing him is going to hurt, but we didn't have a chance to go that far in the World Cup anyway. In this game I've been playing, Canada has not improved to the level that they have in real life. And even in real life, in the last World Cup they played in, we got annihilated in the first round. So I'm going in with low expectations, and I think that's probably the best way to avoid disappointment. We made some changes to the overall best 11 for Amazulu this year, with Zane Walker and Grant Margeman both being incorporated. It's pretty impressive how Walker was able to break in on the wing he plays badly on, but there was no chance of him unseating Sabia, so I suppose I shouldn't be too shocked about that. It's pretty funny how, looking at this, like 80% of my top 11 that are still playing are playing in Saudi Arabia because of them constantly raiding my roster. Walker was the player of the season. No shock there. He was easily our best player. He scored the goal of the season, and he was the young player of the season. So I'm going to do everything I can to hang on to Walker, but some English clubs have already been sniffing around him, so I doubt I'll be able to with our current financial state. So next season, uh, oh look, we're actually going to build a new stadium. Maybe that's why they won't give me any money. That's nice to see. Um, they expect us to challenge for the title in the Premiership. That's new. It wasn't that high before. Uh, but given how we performed this season, it definitely seems reachable. If I can avoid selling too much of the team, it's definitely attainable. We actually have a pretty substantial list of injuries, given how it felt like no one ever got injured this season. But they're all very short duration injuries, so it never really hit the way 4 or 5 month injury losses usually hit. And I'm paying for that in my personal save because like 70% of the starting lineup is injured right now. I legitimately have like three positions I can't fill. They're willing to give me money to offer a new contract to Otladisa, which is a good sign. And it's suggesting not extending a new contract to Manaka, who I don't ever play, and McFarlane, who's been hanging around the periphery of the club, so I'm willing to let him go too. He could develop to be a fine player, but we need to save money. And if I don't get rid of any of the starters, he's not breaking into the team. He's not even really backup level. He's only there if I take a lot of injuries. But here's the big news. We're actually getting a new stadium. So, the years of playing on a shitty pitch will be coming to an end soon. Pitch held up pretty good this year, but 2 years ago, it was almost unusable by the end of the season. We got a lot of rain that year, and it just destroyed the pitch. And then we were going to get a new stadium, but the new board took over. Walker broke our goal-scoring record with 33 goals. The previous was 29 by Sabia, who was great, but you guys didn't get to see him because he was gone by the time I started to save. Walker also created a new assist record with 21, beating Sabia's 20. And Nidlovo got 25 shutouts, setting a new record, beating February's record of 24 from last year. You got to see a little bit of February when Nidlovo got hurt, and he came in and did all right. So I'm very happy with how the team performed this year. Nikosi signed a new deal to stay as general manager. He's not costing us that much, so it's pretty good. And Makuena signed a new deal to stay on as physio, so that's pretty good. He's costing us even less. Might be nice to get a better physio, but I think we're going to have to wait till the stadium's finished for that. At least now I know why the board won't give me any money. They were saving up to pay for that stadium. So that hurts less, but it's not going to make financing the team this season any easier. Nene signed on as head coach to stay with us. We're doing pretty good. Head coach for the under-21s, to be specific. Kamalo is staying on as goalkeeping coach. And Fally is staying on as goalkeeping coach for the reserves. Nice to see a lot of our coaching staff staying in place. I think given our financial status and the fact that we're building a new stadium, I'm not going to mess around with the coaching staff trying to get rid of the hits to determination that the team has been suffering. If that's really the only bad spot of development, and we can afford to keep them while financing the stadium, I'm definitely going to go for it because it gives us a chance to actually win again next year. Dai went to FC San Pedro. I'm fine with that deal. I rarely, if ever, used him. And we're not getting huge amount of money from this deal, but it gets him off the books. Smith is staying as head of sports science. Arnwa is continuing to fail at advancing his coaching ability. But that's fine. We're not going to be able to send him another coach. Oh. Yeah, I'll accept that invitation. It's in September, so it's not going to have any bearing for a while, but I always accept friendly offers unless I legit don't have scheduling rooms. Okay, let's see. This is where it gets interesting, what they think we should do with contracts. We're going to release a bunch of players that just aren't good enough. And this is going to try to clear up some money. Offering a new deal here for Shobeni. Shobeni's definitely good enough to deserve a new deal. it hurts to be releasing Momad. I actually used him some, but we got to be harsh. The coaches see him as only having 2.5-star potential, and I need to clean my salaries off the Bucks. So that 47,000 will go better elsewhere. McVenny is good enough to offer a new deal, so we're definitely going to do that. I'm glad they're letting me try to re-sign some people at least. We're just having to be very careful with who it is. Oh, Humans getting cut. That's another one that kind of hurts. But once again, only 2.5-star potential. So even though he's done some good work for us, he just needs to go out the door because we can't afford to pay him. I mean, that's freeing us up another 60,000. Gonna offer Manyan a contract because he's pretty good. I think I have a year to... Yeah, I have a year to... Or no, he's only got a month left on it, but I'm just gonna stall him. He's an assistant coach. We might have to cut him just for financial reasons. New contract for Dintwa seems good, although he wants more money than we can afford to give him. So now I get to try to talk him down. We're probably going to lose him because it's a pretty big gap, and he doesn't seem willing to come down to 65,000, which I can't blame him for. But yeah, we lost. And Tombilla can't afford to pay him what he wants either. Probably going to lose out on this negotiation. This is another loss that's going to really hurt. But I don't have the money to pay him what he wants. There's nothing I can do about that. Camilo can't afford to pay him close to what he wants. Like, we're miles apart. We're not going to make it. And Mofo Kang. How bad is the gap there? Yeah. Not a huge gap there. Oh, no, we might be able to talk him down. It's only 5,000 right now. 3,000 and he's not mad yet. Got him. Doesn't mean he'll sign it, but he'll at least consider it. So we're going to lose some staff members that are pretty painful losses. Oh, Johnson got called up by Northern Ireland. I'm just going to take a look at who we're losing. That reserve data analyst, that's fine. Reserves coach, that hurt. Or not that one. Here we go, contract right. Jacked wrong ones. We lost reserve sports scientist. We lost a physio. That's a bad loss. We lost the fitness coach for the under-21s. That's a bad loss. And we lost the fitness coach for the reserves. So we're taking some pretty big hits. But ultimately, it's necessary to just control the finances. Langa signed his new contract, so at least we're hanging on to our fitness coach. And this month is going to suck. We have to get through this month before we clear off all these contracts on our books that are costing us so much money. We're going to lose a lot. Williams signed a new contract. That's good. I got Coach of the Month. Since they're building us a new stadium, I have no hopes of getting any more money for anything right now. But at least I feel a little more appreciated than when I thought they just didn't want to put any money into the team like I did last season. So I'm less bitter about it now. Oh, We got another fitness coach. What I mean. Oh, good. We get to start paying off our loan now, too. Because we weren't in financial trouble enough. Ned Levo's back in training, but it doesn't matter because season's finished. Daoud seems like a good signing. We might actually be able to afford this guy. And I do need to shore up the team somewhat. Ladisa signed his new deal. Couldn't afford him. I'm glad I'm able to get a lot of the financial stuff dealt with this episode when we have the World Cup games coming up, because it's a lot of what will make the summer episode take so long. And so if I can clear it out in this one and then cut after 2 matches as usual, it'll make the summer episode less lengthy, because I'm half expecting that that's going to run me like 2.5 hours for that episode. Macabelli signed his new deal. He's pretty cheap, so that's a good sign. I mostly want him as backup for injuries. Makoto signed a new deal, so we keep our data analyst. Useful signing. He's New Zealand. Not very good. I can't even try to get him. Quality signing. He's South African. I probably can't afford him, but I'd like to have him. Can't even try for him. Can't try for him. They're not even letting me try for non-South African players right now, probably because of our club finances. Oh, they're letting me try for this Italian who seems not very good, but it'll give the board something to do that'll keep them out of my hair for a little while. Oh, that's because Italy kind of, for some reason in this game, Italy shows up in the same region as South Africa. I guess because they don't have any other African nations actually playable. They count the southern part of Europe in it. Tadilla signed a new deal. He's just a future prospect, but he's only costing me 25,000, so definitely worth it. Matoto signed a new deal, so I keep up him. Not loving Supersport going after Tau, but he might be a sacrifice I have to make just due to financial reasons. Yeah, knew that deal wasn't going through. I only even said to try for him because it would keep the board from trying for some random like 45% player just to look like they're doing something. Shobeni re-signed. We might actually have to use him this season. Nagabeni's re-signed. So signings have been pretty solid. Pretty solid squad for this friendly. Given that Eustachio is unavailable to us, it's probably about the strongest squad we can name. This is very likely going to be our starting 11 for the World Cup. I'd really like to have Eustaquio in instead of Mujkic, but I wasn't that lucky in the injury side of things, and I'd like to have someone in instead of Nelson here. But once again, kind of have to work with what I've got. Yeah, I actually like what they're suggesting now with moving Nelson up to the front. I might do that day of. Looks like we're most likely going to lose Williams to Cardiff. I really don't want to lose him, but a lot of your British teams are interested in him. And I don't think I can afford to keep him. Same as Safama drawing interest from Pirates. I don't think I can win a financial battle with Pirates, even though I really want to keep these guys. Somehow I'm expected to challenge for the title next season. With them taking all my good players, it might be difficult. Expected good conditions in Poland, which is nice. I am definitely going to try to talk that guy over to play for Canada. I don't know if he's any good, but I don't like losing potential nationals to other teams, so I always try to talk them into playing for me. It's probably a bit of a dick move when I talked them over and then never used them, but I like having options. Great conditions in Poland. That's going to be nice. Not in any danger of suffering any injuries for this. It's a little cold for the summer, but that's alright. I mean, it is, yeah, it is kind of cold for today, or for this time of year, but whatever. It's June. Not loving the roster we have available to us. I'd like someone better than Harbour, however, but I don't have that. I'd like someone better than Kemp. Once again, there's not really anyone available to pick from. K's fallen off quite a bit, but without Eustaquio, I'm pretty thin on options there. Mujkic is decent, but I'd like someone better. Nelson's decent in that role. Amrani's improved. That's nice to see. Even Pep Talk, the assistant coach, just acknowledged we're not supposed to win this match. So this is really just a let's hope nothing bad happens before the World Cup match. It's been frustrating coaching Canada in this save because I've been watching them improve so drastically in real life. And in this game, the players are not improving. They're not being played by their clubs much. Other than guys like Eustaquio, Davies, they're getting played, but Most of the others aren't, and so they're not developing. And as international coach, you don't get a chance to develop them. You can pick them, and hopefully it'll get better when you play them, but you have no say in what happens in their club futures or club times. So I've been kind of stuck with this team that's slowly improving, but they're not nearly as good as they should be when I watch the actual team play. It gets frustrating. Although it's nice that I finally got them to a point where like international, like big nations are wanting to play matches with them. Because for the majority of my time, I haven't been able to get friendlies with anyone outside of like tiny little Caribbean nations that would beat like 12-0. But it doesn't matter because they're like 150th in the world. And was never playing outside of the region, so it's kind of cool that in the last year and a half, 2 years, we've been getting offers for friendlies from countries like Poland. It really broadens the horizon, and if I stick with this save long enough, it probably will result in an actual improvement in the team in a way that beating up on the minnows in the Caribbean just doesn't. Because, like, so far watching these highlights, Poland doesn't feel like the better team. I don't think we're the better team either, but it feels competitive in a way I wasn't expecting this match to feel, which is nice. I mean, Poland's better. They've got two more shots than we have in the first 40 minutes, but I was expecting to be down a goal or two now. So the team is definitely improving despite what those star ratings at the start say. I say as Amrani just has the most pathetic header ever. I think this is Davies' first real touch of the ball. I know he took it immediately out earlier because it was just running too fast. But that was the first time he really felt like he was doing anything. Unfortunately, we seem to be mostly crossing it into Amrani, who's not having the best match of his career, instead of Davies. Or Davis, sorry. It's confusing having two names that close together. I always stumble over and say the wrong one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these Polish players' names. There's far too many Z's in there for me to feel comfortable saying those. This is a friendly, so I could have made a sub already, but I think I'm going to try to keep people on until 60 minutes. I've been pretty happy with what I've been seeing from the team. I don't think we're struggling where I need to take people off. So I'm going to try to carry out to 60 minutes unless someone really seems to be having a hard time. See if my first team can force a goal through, because it would be really nice to come into the World Cup with some momentum. Broglar's got it out of the wing. That's another player I haven't seen touch the ball much. Here we go. Jonathan David's got it now. This is... And it goes to Amrani and gets launched out. But it looks like we're getting corner. Good chance from Mark Anthony Kaye there. Amrani's not really willing to pass the ball off when he's losing chances. I think that's his biggest weakness. Because that would have been a perfect time to hit a cross into David. And see if we could get a goal, but instead Amrani tried to force his way through two guys and pretty much lost all momentum by the time he was through, and it was pretty easy save for the goaltender. I don't think he's playing bad. I just think it's a decision-making flaw of the player, and it's something I'd try to coach out of him if I could coach him in club level, but as his national coach, I'm just going to have to deal with it. I don't think it's a big enough issue to keep him off the team. He's one of the best strikers we have, because we're hurting for strikers. I could restructure the team to play one up front, but it's felt for most of the game that we're very midfielder heavy in this country, and so the 4-4-2 has been a better lineup for us. Alright, let's see. What changes do I need? Mujkic isn't playing great, and Amrani's not playing great, which I identified. Mujkic I hadn't picked up on. I might have wanted to get him off at the half, actually, seeing as he's only putting in a 6.4. So let's see. I'll give Arja a cap because he's a little tired, and so's Owusu. But Owusu's more likely to potentially start my match against Iran, so I think I'm going to put on Arja and just see how he does. He's only a 2-star, so he's definitely a step down from Mujkic, but sometimes it's just better to have fresh legs on the pitch. And, I mean, this is a friendly. If we lose it, it's not a big deal. And David scored, assisted by Kemp. It's now potentially winnable for us. So I think now I feel comfortable changing up players at the front. I wanted to keep him pretty much the way it was, because it's even with not the best performance from Amrani, it seemed like our best chance to force one through. But now we're up by one. I think at 70 I'm going to sub him off and just see if I can, because I don't really need another goal. I just need to keep Poland from scoring, which feels doable. They haven't felt like they've been too threatening so far this game. Arja definitely paid off. He's been on the pitch for 7 minutes and he made a key interception. That's what I was saying about fresh legs sometimes outweighing raw skill and comfort in the ball. Not sure what Tableau was going for there. That was pretty weak. Alright, let's see. Definitely getting Amrani off. Everyone else is doing pretty well, so I think it's just going to be one change again. I'll put in Kyle Larin, who used to be my go-to up front, but he's not been getting club game time, so he's been hurting for match sharpness when he comes in. And I don't have the opportunity to develop that, so I just end up starting Amrani instead of him because they're both 2.5 stars. And Amrani's coming in with 100% sharpness. He's coming in with like 80. It's a pretty easy choice, but I might write Larin more in the matches that matter, because sometimes it's the devil you know. And if these 20 minutes can bump him up to like 90% match sharpness, I'll probably start him over Amrani in the Iran game. If not, the Wales game too. I definitely want to start David in both matches. Arja again with a nice cross. Bringing him in was definitely the right move. Pretty impressed with what I've seen of him so far. I think he's just a kid, but He feels like having a potential difference maker when he matures a little bit. He might be a regular starter for a long time. Almost a nice goal from David there. Good defense from their goaltender, whose name I'm still not going to try to pronounce. I butchered the South African names I have to say enough. I'm not going to try destroying another country's language that I don't speak. Let's see. Everyone's looking pretty fresh. Everyone's playing pretty well. I want to make at least one more change just to feel like I don't like only subbing two, so I'm going to take K off and give Owusu a couple minutes of game time, I think. I've been really happy with Owusu when I have him in. This might be a red card for Davis. Not just a yellow. We're lucky. Doesn't matter. This is a friendly. It's not going to carry over and impact our actual lineup in the World Cup much. But I really want to win this game now that there's only 3 minutes left and we have a goal advantage against a better team. Because if we can come in with a load of confidence from winning this, I think we're favorites against Iran. Wales will still be a challenge. They're beatable. Anyone's beatable. I mean, we've beat America, we've beat Mexico in this save before. I don't think I recorded either of those games, but we have beat both of them, so getting a win over Wales is definitely doable. But I don't love our odds at that, so I really want to get the win over Iran today because I think with that win, unless Wales destroys us, we can potentially win on a goal differential and advance to the next round. We're in a 3-team group, so it's one of the easier groups to advance from. And that's time. We actually managed to squeak out a win. No landmarks for us. Although it's nice to see that the press didn't think we had a chance in this match and we stole it. I think that was one of our best performances as a nation. I hope we didn't gas out too early because I really want to get our good game against Iran. I'm surprised Tabla was our player of the match. I didn't see too much of him, but a lot of the match was glossed over in midfield play, so I guess it's not too surprising. Talk everyone up before the World Cup starts. Had a pretty positive impact on a lot of people. Look how happy Davis and Carducci are. Disappointed it didn't help Owusu or Nelson, Amrani, Kemp, the guys that really needed the morale boost, but still very positive impact on the team overall, so I'm pretty happy with that. What are they talking about? He's got over a year left on his deal. I'm not giving him a new contract. More sponsorship money coming in. Got a new jersey sponsor. That's nice. Huge increase in the jersey sponsorship. Went from 240,000 to 350,000. Increase in sponsorship revenue overall. Making more money on corporate and hospitality. More money on commercial and retail. More money on broadcasting. More prize money. But we almost doubled our prize money. That's nice. But we didn't win anything last season, so that's not surprising, except for the African Cup. Sold a ton of Walker jerseys, a ton of Tunkara. That's a little surprising. Ton of Makwakwana, Margeman, Ndlovu. Most of those make sense. I'm not sure why Tunkara was the second most popular. We're allowed to increase our recruitment team size. That's nice to see. I'm not giving any feedback. The dude's got more than a year left on his contract. He's not in danger of leaving the club. That's probably his agent trying to stir things up to get me to give him a new contract a year early, but we're in financial trouble. I'm going to try to keep him on his old contract. I don't want to lose him, but I also don't want to spend money I don't have to right now. At this point, us being number one in the World Cup group doesn't mean anything. It's purely alphabetized. I always just auto number. It tries to give people the number they want. And it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play around with numbers trying to do something clever. Just let people grab a number. I suppose it could become relevant if there was ever a case where two people wanted the same number, but I've never run across that. Torres, back eligible. A full week and a half after the season ended. Not his fault that he was injured that long. That just happens, but it's always kind of funny when I get the news that people are like back eligible to train, not doing any training. Oh God. Yeah, Williams took the deal with Crystal Palace. I'm like, I can't compete with a Premier League team. Do you want to keep playing football in South Africa, or do you want to go play in one of the top leagues in the world? I don't know. What's the pick going to be? Of course, he's going to Crystal Palace. This is a really bad deal for us, though. We have to pay more in the loyalty bonus than we make off the sale. And now Leeds are going after Traore, which of course he took. At least I'm not losing money on this one, but those are bad news for us. See if I can get people on coaching courses. I'm not willing to pay for him. I'm sure they're not going to pay for him either. I need to ask, but I know they're not going to pay for it because we're building a stadium. We have the money right now. I'm kind of crushed by those two sales. I mean, I knew that sort of thing was going to happen. But, really not happy about that. Oh, what's this inbox? I missed that. Diaz could be useful. Can't afford him, but I'll send him a contract. There's some interesting matches in this World Cup. Uzbekistan versus the US seems wild. I do think Iran are beatable. Yeah, I really like this lineup. Oh. What am I doing? Trying to adjust the tactics for Amazulu. So. Davies is weaker as a winger than he is as a wing back, but he's stronger than any of my other wingers. I mean, here we have Henry, who's not ideal, and Mujkic, who's not ideal, and then Laren's not ideal. But we've got no 2-stars in the lineup. We've got David and Davies, both as star players. Carducci's as close as you can get without being one. Brokelard's improved a ton. He was like 2.5 stars when I started this save. He's been a regular. Owusu's really good. Yeah, I'm very happy with that lineup. And we're expected to beat Iran soundly. Actually, it's more in our favor than I expected, so that's a good sign given that we just beat Poland. I think that changed people's assessment a lot on us. Oh, we're playing in BC. Oh, Edmonton. Never mind. Commonwealth. Yeah, what am I thinking? It's not BC Place. This is my country. I know where the stadiums are. I didn't think Commonwealth was in this game. I've never played a match there before. It's kind of funny that we're getting a match there given that it's not being used in the real World Cup. We lost Traore for only $80,000. Hopefully Williams takes that deal. That's a better one for us than the Crystal Palace, but he's probably going to take the Palace deal. It's Palace. It's a Premier League team. Good conditions for the match. Cordova for Atakubi. That's probably stronger. Let's see. Neutral, but slightly better, I think. I still really like this team for this match. Justifov is lacking match sharpness. Huh? Oh yeah, he's only at 69%. I guess his club never plays him. Well, he's still one of the best players on our team. We're just gonna have to deal with him not being that comfortable. If I paid a little more attention, maybe I would have stuck him in during that friendly, but we're playing a worse team at home. This should go very well for us. They made Commonwealth way too small. This looks like a tiny pitch. Commonwealth's a Canadian Football League stadium. It's huge. This pitch is massive. It's not this tiny. Oh. That would have been so nice to be up a goal 3 minutes into the match. Still, the fact that we're just slicing through Iran's defenses feels pretty nice. Jafari's looking dangerous now. Oh god, that was terrible. Jana Bakash, assisted by Jafari. That was bad. We just kind of stood there and watched that go in. See what actually happened. I still think we're the better team and can easily win this. It's only 6 minutes in. Hopefully this goal woke them up. Owusu with a nice strike. Another highlight for us. Laren equalized, assisted by Tabla. I knew we could get it back just by the way we carved them up the first time. That was kind of a fluky goal on their part. Great turnout, which is nice to see. Oof, that's a bad place to have given them a penalty, but they couldn't get through the wall. That Jafari looks to be one of their better players. And I'm not sure what Kyle Laren was doing covering him there. I mean, I'm glad he did, because we got the ball away from him. Now we got the dangerous penalty. Or free kick, rather, but that was awful far up the pitch for Laren to be. This match has kind of settled down from where it looked at the start. Jonathan David single-handedly gives us the lead. That was terrible goaltending on their part. He should have never gotten that second chance. Or not goaltending, I guess. It was a defender that it bounced off, not the goaltender. Still really bad play to get it right back to him. Ooh, they're having some bad ball control. That was another case where Davis just got the ball easily because of a misplay from their number 7. And then he had a really bad slide tackle attempt that just let Davis get completely open. And it was only because their goaltender's somewhat decent that we didn't go up 2. This is an actual competitive match, so I'm absolutely not making a sub until 60 minutes. Even though I can see a 6.5 there, two 6.5s that I'd really like to deal with. I'm just going to have to wait it out a little bit because I don't want to run out of subs too early and have to go down a man. And actually, one of those dealt with itself because it was on Moodskitch, who's now playing pretty decently, but Owusu's having a tough game. So I think I'm going to take him off for Arja. Arja was a really strong player last match. I'm going to see if I can get the same result from him against Iran. Although I'm going to have to change the style of play he's doing quite substantially. But I've been really impressed with him. I'm not sure what happened there. Looked like bad play from both teams. I think I'm going to take Moodskitch off for K. Get a veteran out there for 20 minutes. I mean, K's really fallen off in the last year. He used to be like a 3.5 star player. And now he's barely 2, but get that veteran mindset out to hold things together for the last 10 minutes. So I'm going to take Justifov off for Haber. Haber's a little stronger overall. I know they both show as 2.5 stars, but Haber tends to play a little better than Justifov. And I need to hold on to that 1-goal lead for the last 10 minutes. If we can win this, I think we're sitting pretty to advance out of the group. This game kind of slowed down to a nothing after those early flurry of goals, but I'll take it because we just won. And that was also Laren's 50th cap, so that's nice. Was VAR a factor? I don't remember VAR coming into play. Laren was our player of the match. Doesn't really surprise me. Davis didn't make much of an impact, surprisingly, even though he's a vastly better striker than Laren. At least he's happy we won. So hopefully we can parlay that into our next match. We've got Wales coming up next. And then potentially a huge gap. We're going to have something before the Paraguay match because friendlies start for Amazulu in August. So potentially we have the huge gap to August. And then a friendly. But probably given that we won this match, we're probably going to have our second World Cup match for the next session, and we'll be making the jump next week to August for friendlies with Amazulu. But either way, things are looking pretty good going into the next episode. So thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully you have a good day. Talk to you later.